Baba says, you be a self-sovereign and finish anger and bossiness and become the goddess of coolness. So you see, in India there are many deities that we worship, and one deity that we worship is Shitla Devi. Have you heard about Shitla Devi? So there is a worship, or Shitla Devi is worshipped on some occasions, and Baba says that all the different forms of worship that take place from the Copper Age onwards, they are done in remembrance of the characters you play and the roles you perform in this Sangam Yuga. So Baba says, you become Shitla Devi now, and they are worshipping Shitla Devi in Bhakti. So Baba says, you become Shitla Devi, you become the goddess of coolness. And how do you become the goddess of coolness? So you see, there's this one brother, he was visiting the center yesterday for the first time, and he told me that I'm a very peaceful person, and Didi, believe me, I'm very, very peaceful. But whenever I see somebody in a lot of pain, then I get very sorrowful and my heart aches. And when I see that somebody is, somebody is a victim of injustice, and there is some injustice being done to somebody, then I get very, very angry. So, and I asked him, how many times in a day do you get sorrowful and angry? He said, all the time, because I'm watching news and I get very triggered by whatever is happening in the country or in the world, and I feel like there's so much of sorrow and so much of injustice happening, so I am disturbed all the time, and this is why I want to take the course. So you see that everybody says that I am very peaceful, but when I see something or when I hear something, then I get very disturbed. And you know that there is an example in Bhakti of Surdas, and it is said that Surdas, he kind of blinded himself. He fused his own eyes. Why? Because he thought that there is so much of evil in the world that if I don't see it, then probably I'll be better off. So you see that people think that the eyes are the culprit or the ears are the culprit, and then you say that it's my eyes that make me lose my coolness or my peace, or ears that make me lose my coolness or my peace. But is it like that? No, Baba tells us that I, the soul, am doing every action, whether performing the action through the eyes or the ears or the mouth. So I am the master of this body, and everything that is being done through the various organs of the body, I am the one doing it. So Baba tells us that I am a soul and I am the one seeing through the eyes, hearing through the ears, or speaking through the mouth. Just like the software manifests itself through the hardware in a computer. Similarly, I am the one, I am the conscious being, the thinking, experiencing being, I the soul, and I am doing everything through the body. And Baba says, right now, I the soul am not self-sovereign. Self-sovereign means I am not in my power. I am not in my knowledgeful, peaceful, loveful, blissful, powerful state. I am not in my pure state. That is why I am not able to perform correct actions through the body. But Baba says that as much as you keep connecting with me, so when you be in my company, so when we are listening to the Murli, when we are listening to Baba's knowledge, when we are having yoga with Baba, or when we are following Baba's directions, these are the methods to keep company with Baba, right? So there is something called Sankarang, or company colors. And Baba says, I am the ocean of knowledge, ocean of peace, ocean of love, ocean of purity, and I am the Almighty. And the more you stay in my company, so the first point of contact with Baba is reading, studying Baba's Murli. Yes, so Baba tells Baba comes from the soul world, and as a point of very physical contact, he is giving us a murli, he is giving us knowledge. And Baba says, when you read that knowledge, when you churn over that knowledge in your buddhi, when you think about what I am telling you, then you are making contact with me, and I start to color you, I start to influence you. Have you seen that when you read a book by somebody, then their ideology, their way of thinking, their experiences, or what they stand for, they start coloring you. So Baba says similarly, every day when you read the Murli, because it is spoken through my mind and buddhi, so you will start being colored by my company. And then when you know me through the Murli, when you know what I say, when you know what attitude I have towards you, when you know what is my vision for you, when you know what is my hope for you, when you know how I see you, and when you know what is my relationship with you, and when you know me per se, or the knowledge that I give you through the Murli, and then you sit in remembrance of me based on how you know me through the Murli, then what happens is, in that remembrance also, that color which I cast on you starts getting reinforced. And Baba says that more and more you do that, you start coming back to your original color. You, the soul, start coming back to your original, how you originally are. You are being restored to yourself. And Baba says, I am the catalyst, and when you come into my contact, I restore you to yourself, and I remain unchanged in the process. So I am like that catalyst. And Baba says that when you do that and you come back to your own power, then you become a self-sovereign. And a self-sovereign is a knowledgeful, pure, peaceful, loveful, blissful soul, right? A powerful soul. And Baba says, when you are a self-sovereign, then all your acts that you perform with the body are accurate. So, when you, the soul, are knowledgeful and peaceful. So, let's take an example. So, let's take an example where a soul has lost its power. There is no knowledge of the soul in the soul, right? So, Baba gives us the knowledge that I am a soul, and we have been around on this stage for many births, and now more or less everybody is depleted. Yes, so every soul is depleted, and we are at the end of the journey because we are in the 84th birth. And even if somebody came later, maybe not in the 84th birth they are, but still they are in the last birth, because after this the play is going to take a U-turn and again go to Satyug. So this is the last birth. So according to the knowledge of the soul, what you understand is you, everybody around you is a weak soul. Yes, and when you hold that knowledge, when you are a self-sovereign, when you are knowledgeful, then when you see somebody, what do you see? You don't see a bad person, you see a weak person. Yes, you see a soul that is not bad, but they are weak. They are not able to perform actions according to their virtues. The soul has been overtaken by vices. So you see a parvashatma. Parvashatma means a soul which is not in its control. You see a soul that is weak. And when you have that vision, then you don't get angry. You become very compassionate. You understand that the soul needs help. I will give you an example of this. So there is a Kumar who comes in the center. And you know who is a Kumar? And so you know Kumar and Kumari means Baba's children who are unmarried according to social norms. So they are Kumars and Kumaris, right? So the boys are called Kumars and the girls are called Kumaris. So now he's a Kumar and he's studying, and so you know he has this tendency that whenever he doesn't receive attention, so let's say if he sees another Kumar getting attention in the class, then what he would start doing is he would start writing messages, writing wrong things about the other Kumar. So, you know, he would start making up lies about the other Kumar, and he would say that, you know, this, I know this brother is like this, and I saw him there and he was having alcohol, or he was taking a cigarette or something like that. So, you know, he would just try to say something wrong about that person and try to, you know, put them down in my drishti so that he receives the attention he wants. And because you know now we understand, so when he writes these messages, we understand that all he is asking for is attention, right? So what we do is we call him for seva and we involve him, and then he is in and around and he is doing seva. So because obviously, you know, in the center you can't make somebody sit and take attention all the time. That's not possible. So we call him for seva, and then he's in and around, and he has, you know, maybe snacks or lunch or something with Baba, and then he's happy. And then he'll stop writing those messages. And then after some days, if he again has that fit of, you know, I want more attention, then he'll again start doing that. So now when you understand it, you don't get angry. And you know, there was this one Mata, and she once came to know about him writing these messages, and she told me, but Didi, this is so wrong. He is just, you know, he's defaming somebody and he's writing false stuff and this and that. So I said, it's not such a big deal. Don't get so worked up about this. He's just a person seeking attention, and that's okay. Most people are attention seeking, and that's okay. So you see that when you understand what's going on, because you have the knowledge to see that every soul, you see, every soul is made of 7 qualities: knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss, power. So what is everybody seeking? These 7 things. Yes. And when you understand that they are behaving the way they are behaving because they are not getting these things, and especially love and knowledge. A, because they don't understand. B is because they are needy for love. And when you understand that, then you don't get angry on anything. And Baba says that when you are a self-sovereign, then when you are knowledgeful, when you are yourself peaceful, pure, then your drishti changes. And when your vision changes, your eyes are the same, but what you see with the eyes is very different. You don't see the actions they are performing, You don't see the behavior, you see the soul behind the behavior, and you understand that the soul is in its 84th birth, so they are bound to behave the way they are behaving. And when you see that, then you don't get angry, but on the contrary, you have a lot of compassion in your heart for that soul. And Baba says, similarly, when you hear something, you know, when you hear that, just like that brother said, that I hear in the news that there is so much of injustice or this or that happening, then you understand that, from knowledge, you understand that for 63 births, we have acted under the influence of vices. So you understand that from the copper age, every soul starts becoming body conscious, and we start acting under the influence of vices. And we do that, when we do that, we create negative karmic accounts. And when we create negative karmic accounts, then we don't have a way to settle it. So do you understand, from copper age onwards, we keep accumulating those negative karmic accounts, because some karmic accounts we've settled through suffering, but majority only get carried forward. So now when we are in the 84th birth, we are carrying 63 births of unsettled karmic accounts created with souls. And when those karmic accounts, they come and manifest themselves, then it looks like, this person did no wrong, but why is this happening to this person? But if you look at it spiritually, everything is happening. It may not be good, but it is accurate. Whatever is happening is not against the law of karma. It is very accurate, and it may be, it may not be pleasant, it may not appear good and nice, but it is not wrong, it's accurate. And when we say it's accurate, then you understand that what is your intervention in this? What do you need to do in this case? So when you see that there is a scene which looks like a scene of injustice, but from a spiritual angle you know that it is accurate, then Baba has told us that whenever a negative karmic account manifests itself, what does the soul need? The soul needs a lot of understanding, virtues and powers to deal with it. So let's say, there is a loan that comes up for you to pay. What do you do in that scene? You need a lot of currency to pay that loan, right? Similarly, when a karmic account comes and it's knocking at our doorstep, then what do? We need a lot of knowledge, purity, love, peace, joy, and a lot of power to tolerate and face to cross that karmic account. And when you understand that, you don't get annoyed about the injustice in the world. You understand that these souls need to be helped, need to be supported through knowledge, purity, peace and powers, so that they settle their karmic accounts. And let me give you a very relevant example in this regard. So you see, when it was COVID, so during COVID, there were so many souls who were suffering, and people lost parents, siblings, friends, everybody, right? And in that scene, there was no earlier they tried to blame this country and that country and the other country. But then slowly, gradually, they started blaming God that, why is this happening, or why is this going on? But the thing is, everything that's happening is there in the drama for a reason. And 63 births, we have created negative karmic account with souls and with nature. And that's bound to come back. And that's how that was coming back. But then in that scene, what does everybody need? Everybody needs the support of knowledge, the support of virtues, the support of powers. So what seva were we doing at that time? We were doing these classes and giving everybody this, the method to connect with Baba, draw strength and understand what is what and pass it in peace and happiness. So that is the thing you do. You don't get angry about what's happening, but you think about what needs to be done in this situation and how everybody needs Baba's support to cross this, and you give them the knowledge and the power to connect with Baba. And Baba says this is how, by being a self-sovereign, by being a knowledgeful, peaceful, loveful soul yourself, by being a pure soul yourself, you win over your anger by changing your drishti through knowledge. When you see everything through the glass of knowledge, then nothing irks you, nothing upsets you, nothing triggers your anger. On the contrary, you respond to everything in a very accurate, knowledgeful, peaceful fashion. And you become the embodiment of coolness and you become Shitla Devi. And Baba says that people say, that okay, even if I win over anger, that's good, but I don't want to leave bossiness. Yes, people in Hindi, that's called rob. So, people think that speaking lovefully is not a good thing. You should always speak bossily, and that should be there. So, when I was in office, I had this senior colleague, and she told me once that in the office, don't talk sweetly to anybody. Always maintain that tone where your tone puts everybody in their place. So this is the language she used, and she said that your tone should be such that it puts everybody in their place, and they don't dare to cross that line. So she told me that in the first instance. So I said, okay, I'll try. I don't know whether I can, because I can't speak like that, but still I'll try. So that's what, people teach you in the world. You are taught to be bossy. You are taught to be, told to talk in a fashion that everybody stays at an arm's length from you. So Baba says, but why do you need anger and bossiness? Because you see, just like, when you're wounded, when you have a wound on your hand or your feet, what do? You cover it up with a big bandage. And why do you need that bandage? Because if by any chance somebody came and hit that wound, then you wouldn't be able to deal with the pain. Right? But if you are healed from within, if you are healed, if your hand and feet are okay, do you need that bandage? You don't need that bandage. So bossiness is like that bandage. And when the soul is wounded, you want everybody to stay away, talk to you politely, not talk to you in a certain way, so that your ego is not hurt. Because if your ego is hurt, then you can't deal with it. Yes, but if you are a self-sovereign and if you are healed within, if you are a peaceful, pure, loveful, joyful soul, a powerful soul within, then you don't need any bossiness. Yes, even if somebody, let's say somebody crosses their line and talks to you disrespectfully also, then what? You can respond respectfully, and they will get the signal that it was not okay to talk to you like that. And you don't have to, be bossy or be angry and tell them that don't talk to me like this. If you maintain your tone, if you are peaceful and loveful and pure and calm in your conduct, then the other person will know how to behave with you. And anyways, you decide who behaves with you like what. So Baba says that you don't need that bossiness, you don't need anything. When people come in connection with you, they will automatically figure out how to talk to you and how to behave with you if you are in your self-sovereign state. So Baba says, in this state of self-sovereignty, there is no need for anger, there is no need for bossiness, and there is no, and I will tell you this, a very practical example of why you don't need bossiness is Prakashmani Dadiji. And of course Mama Baba, but after that also Prakashmani Dadiji was a very accurate example of why you don't need to be bossy. And Prakashmani Dadiji was the chief of Brahma Kumaris from 1969 to 2007. And she's the one in whose administration, Baba's services expanded, and Baba worked through that instrument in a very, very big way. And Prakashmani Dadiji was so humble that she never wanted that somebody should wait to meet her, or somebody should find it difficult to meet her. So what she used to do is, after the Murli class in Madhuban in Mount Abu, she used to just come out and sit on the veranda, on the open space. She would just sit there, and anybody who would come and go, if they wanted to talk to Dadi, they could just go and talk to her. And sometimes, there were children who didn't recognize Dadi, and Dadi would herself say Om Shanti to those children. Even if they didn't recognize and they didn't say Om Shanti, Dadi would say Om Shanti to every child who passed by. And you see, there was this one particular incident where there was a big dignitary who had come to Mount Abu, and there was this brother on the gate who was there for security, and he stopped his car and he asked for his identity card. And then this dignitary, he got angry and he said that I've come here on invitation and you cannot ask me for my identity card. And he got really angry and he started shouting. And because Dadiji was just around, she was in the veranda or something, so she heard that noise and she went there. And there she saw that this person was getting angry, and she just folded her hands and said, I welcome you, and I'm sorry on his behalf, and you please come. And then he figured out that she was the chief of Brahma Kumaris. And then he really felt that he shouldn't have done what he did, and he didn't need to be told that, because you don't need to tell somebody how to behave. If you behave yourself, then everybody will learn to behave themselves in your company. That's the law. So Baba says that you don't need any anger, you don't need any bossiness to get your work done. And the thing is, even if you understand this, until and unless you are a self-sovereign, you are a soul in your power, you cannot do away with anger and bossiness. And Baba says, when you come to this place and you come back to your own spiritual power, then you will be labeled or titled the goddess of coolness. And in bhakti, you will be worshipped as the goddess of coolness, and one who is so cool inside out then they can, in their company, make everybody cool like Dadi did. So, his anger just went away. So, similarly, Baba says, when you do this in Sangam Yoga, then your form will be celebrated like the form of a deity from the Copper Age onwards. And then Baba today tells us that if you are obedient, so obedient to what? Obedient to Baba's teachings and Baba's directions, then Baba says, you don't need to ask for blessings. You will earn blessings. And in this regard, what we need to understand is blessings and the opposite of blessings. They are not asked, they are not given. So even if somebody wants to give you a blessing, they can't give you a blessing. You have to earn that. And even the opposite of blessings, you can't stop anybody from giving. If you perform that action, you will get that. So Baba says that if you want Baba's blessings, then be obedient to Baba's teachings. And there is a small child who comes to the center these days. I think he's 4 years, 5 years old, I think. And that child, he just keeps quiet during the whole Murli. And if he doesn't feel like sitting in one place, he would roam around, but he will be absolutely quiet. And after the Murli is over, when he knows that he can talk, he talks. So after the Murli is over and everybody is talking, he also talks. And but during the Murli, he is absolutely quiet. And everybody in the class, they give him blessings. So everybody says, this child is so wonderful, and Didi, how he sits quietly during the Murli and how he talks at the right time and how he loves taking the bhog and all. So you see that I don't have to say that, give blessings to this child. The child is earning blessings. And if there is a child who is disturbing, yes, then obviously, everybody will have that feeling that the class is getting disturbed. So Baba says similarly, so I'm giving you a very normal, a very mundane example of how blessings and the opposite of blessings work. And in case of Baba, Baba says that whenever you do what I ask you to do, you get up in the morning, sit before me, even if in the beginning you're drowsy or something, you're getting my blessings because you've been obedient. You have not said that, if I'm feeling drowsy, let me just sleep. You said, I have to get up because Baba has asked me, and I will try my best to be awake. And even if you couldn't succeed, you will get the marks for being obedient. And anybody who is obedient will always get Baba's blessings. Baba's blessings don't depend on how much work gets done, how much is achieved, or what result comes out. Baba's blessings are earned by those who are obedient. And I'll give you an example in this. There is Sudha Didi in Moscow, and so you see, when the services of Russia started, at that time, you see, Russia, the kind of government and the kind of ideology that Russia had, it was not easy for, Baba's Gyan to be delivered there. So a lot of preparatory work had to be done there. So in the beginning, you see that when Sudha Didi went from Bharat to Russia, at that time, you see, in Bharat, there was a lot of seva. And in Russia, there was no seva. You had to just sit, meditate, reach out to people, create the foundation. And mostly, the day would be spent in just sitting alone and meditating. And then there was somebody who asked Sudha Didi that, you see, Didi, you are in India, you used to do so much of seva, but here you're without seva, and all day you just have to sit and wait for somebody to come or make some attempts, but mostly there's no seva. Then don't you think that you're losing out on the punya ka khata of seva? So, you're not getting those blessings. So then Sudha Didi said that I am not getting my blessings from Baba based on what I do. I'm getting my blessings from Baba based on my belongingness and my surrender to Baba. I'm here because Baba has directed me to be here, and I have been obedient. So when I'm obedient, I am getting blessings. Doesn't matter, here I have to spend my day meditating or doing seva or whatever. But I'm doing it on Baba's direction, and that is the source of my blessings. So, Baba's blessings are always for the obedient. If you're asked to come and sit in the center, you sit all day, you're not given any seva, still you'll get blessings because you did what you were asked to do. So Baba says, whether it's reading the Murli, whether it's Amrit Vela, whether it's having pure food, you just be obedient, Baba gives you the blessings. Okay, Om Shanti.